Hey, what's going on, Z Nation? Zaid here, ZSPN. And today, guys, we're going to be talking about the Los Angeles Lakers as it concerns Chris Paul being a target for the Los Angeles Lakers in the free agency market as a type of trade scenario for the Los Angeles Lakers in the off season. Now, before anything, like always, guys, please be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, share my videos all over Facebook, Twitter, all our good social media stuff. And of course, like always, please be sure to like my social media sites, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, at ZSPN. I'll leave the links to my social media sites in the description of this video so you guys can check out my social media sites, and of course subscribe to the channel and make sure to subscribe to the ZSPN podcast on Anchor. It is on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Breaker, and Radio Public. All of those great podcast distributions out there. I really do appreciate if you show me the love, support for my podcast, and of course ZSPN on YouTube. Now, guys, getting into the report, according to Marc J from the Undefeated, when it's all said and done, he brings out most of these reports that are pretty accurate when it comes to what's surrounding the Lakers and their interest in getting a certain player to team up with LeBron and Anthony Davis. And according to the reports, the Lakers are eyeing Chris Paul as their potential veteran target for their point guard. And one other player that's on that list is Russell Westbrook. I even mentioned Russell Westbrook in my past videos ago as a type of trade target scenario, package deal for the Lakers to do in the offseason when it's all said and done. And I never really brought up Chris Paul that much because we don't even know about his status with the Phoenix Suns. So his futures in the offseason is so uncertain that I'm really not making it such a big breaking news type scenario. I mean, the Lakers are just eyeing Chris Paul because nobody knows about his future and what he is going to decide on. Will he accept his player option, or will he deny it and want more money? It's a whole type of different situation for Chris Paul. And but if there's like an if type of scenario when it comes to him and the Los Angeles Lakers, I think it's a good fit for Chris Paul to join the Los Angeles Lakers because he will be teaming up with LeBron and Anthony Davis, and that will basically ensure him for another championship opportunity. Now, if he remains with like the Phoenix Suns or goes somewhere else like the New York Knicks, if he wants more money, I think his championship odds would be very thin when it comes to those certain markets. But when it comes to the Los Angeles Lakers for a championship type of scenario, I think he will have a shot to join the Los Angeles Lakers and team up with LeBron and Anthony Davis. He has a good relationship with LeBron James. I believe he's like the godfather for his son or something like that. So they have a good relationship. And with LeBron and the Lakers having a good relationship when it comes to free agency type of decisions, if LeBron James comes out and said, I want Chris Paul, I think the Lakers will do whatever it takes to bring Chris Paul to join the Los Angeles Lakers. So, and we all know about the rumors and for past years, surrounding the Lakers and Chris Paul, with the whole trade scenario back in 2011 when the Lakers wanted to trade for Chris Paul to join the great late Kobe Bryant. And, that didn't work out. Excuse me. Sorry about that. But that's the instance. He's always been in the rumor mills for the Los Angeles Lakers. And even recently as last season when the Lakers won the championship and they wanted to build a team, and Chris Paul was being mentioned as a potential target for a trade scenario. But that never came into fruition. So, but having that being said, I mean, as I mentioned, Chris Paul will be a great fit for the Los Angeles Lakers. I think with his ability to, if he plays the way that he played last season with the Phoenix Suns and the way he played in the playoffs, and if he has that momentum in the playoffs to just play to the best of his ability to the point that we reach the finals, I think the Lakers will be good set to have another opportunity to win a championship next season. And, they are the favorites for next season as well. So I believe the Brooklyn Nets is the favorites, the Lakers, and also the Milwaukee Bucks, which, by the way, congratulations to the 2021 champs, the Milwaukee Bucks. I mean, they deserve it. They came to play in the finals, and, and congratulations to Giannis Antetokounmpo for winning Finals MVP, having a 50-point game performance. I mean, he was just a monster in that Game 6, and he came to play. He came to play, and, it ended up being a great playoff series. And, due to the injuries, I think it was the only time for him to ever win a championship in that type of scenario. And he did it, and he delivered. And, he's one of those type of players, guys, that you just have to appreciate because, he just, beat all the odds. He is in a small market, so, he didn't have to join a super team. So, he was just one of those type of players that are like, you deserve it, man. You beat all the odds. You didn't have to have a super team, so you won a championship with the players that you had. So, kudos to the Milwaukee Bucks and Giannis Antetokounmpo for winning a championship in 2021. So, but having that being said, I mean, Chris Paul ended up with the Lakers. I think it will be a good fit. And, when it came down to the targets at hand, Russell Westbrook is in the conversation for a target for the Los Angeles Lakers. And I even mentioned him in my past videos ago when it came down to it. I mean, a type of trade scenario, I think it will be realistic because of what the Lakers have if they want to package a deal. I probably brought up, past trade packages when it came to getting a player like Russell Westbrook. I think he's making around $42 million in the next 2 years or something like that. So I think it will fit very well for the Lakers to, match some sort of contract scenario to pair up in a sign and trade type of scenario for Russell Westbrook. But, still remains to be seen about that. And, it's just, I think it's just more realistic to get Russell Westbrook. And, Chris Paul is another option as well. But you never know about his circumstances, as I mentioned. If he wants to, get paid, I think he will go to a team like the New York Knicks because, they have the cap space to do it. The Phoenix Suns, they have the money to do it as well to re-sign him. And, if he just wants to, win a championship and just, end his career at that, I think joining the Lakers to take less would be a great scenario for him. Maybe sign a 2-year contract with the Lakers, somewhere around. I'm being very generous for a guy of his level, somewhere around, I think maybe like a 2-year, maybe like 30 million, 15 per year. So I think that's a good scenario for him. So I'm being very generous with this because, if he wants to get something higher around 3 years, 90 million, I think he would take it elsewhere because I think the Lakers don't have the money to pull it off because, the only offers they can do is mid-level exceptions and veteran minimums. So the Lakers have a lot on their plate when it comes to pursuing a veteran point guard. I know that with this report from Marc Spears that, the Lakers are picking, having the list of Chris Paul being in the conversation for a landing spot, Russell Westbrook, also a candidate for the job at the point guard position to team up with LeBron and Anthony Davis. And with the past, rumors, reports being out, Kyle Lowry is in the conversation for a type of trade scenario, sign and trade type of scenario. I'm thinking about some other point guards. I can't really think of them on the top of my head right now, but there is Buddy Hield but he is a shooting guard type of player. So, but it's not out of the question if Lakers want to do a trade for him. But which I think more than likely, if anything, if the Lakers do get picked between taking Buddy Hield over Chris Paul and Russell Westbrook, I think the best fit for them is to get Buddy Hield. So I think because contract-wise, it will fit very well for a type of trade scenario for the Lakers. But other than that, guys, that's all I really have to say when it comes to the Lakers and their situation in the rumor mill for a potential trade scenario for Chris Paul. I really want to know your thoughts about it in the comment section down below. Do you think the Lakers should trade for Chris Paul this offseason, or do you think the Lakers should pursue someone else in a type of trade scenario? Do you think they should target Russell Westbrook, Kyle Lowry, Buddy Hield, or do you think there's someone else out there in the free agency market that is beneficial for the Lakers as a best fit type of scenario? Maybe a Derrick Rose type of scenario, or just somebody out there who is a good point guard that could fit very well for the Los Angeles Lakers. Because Dennis Schroder, to be honest with you guys, I think he is going to move on. Sure, he said he wants to be a Laker, but it's kind of looking very thin about the statements that he has been putting out there. So it's kind of hard to tell about his predicament and what he is looking for when it comes to his future and his contract situation, in the NBA. But yeah, guys, I really want to know your thoughts about it in the comment section down below. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, and guys, as I mentioned, please give me your thoughts about this rumor report about the Lakers eyeing Chris Paul. Do you like it? Do you dislike it? Please comment down below. Give me your thoughts about it. Make sure to like all of my social media sites: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, ZSPN. I'll leave the links to my social media sites in the description of this video so you guys can check out my social media sites. And of course, subscribe to the ZSPN podcast as well. I have a podcast now. It's basically the same content that I give on YouTube, only you can listen to me on podcasts talking about one of my favorite teams of all time in the Los Angeles Lakers and their predicament in the offseason and what type of decisions that they will do when it comes to building a team back to a championship contending team, with what will Rob Pelinka will do when it comes to free agency and their decisions. And of course, guys, subscribe to the channel ZSPN on YouTube, and I'll see you all in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Go Lakers. Take it easy, guys. Stay safe out there.